Five Nights at Candy's, the fan Five Nights at Freddy's game that got an insane amount of popularity during the craze for Five Nights at Freddy's games back in 2015. Hundreds of YouTubers making videos of Five Nights at Candy's. That type of popularity is unseen in current day. Before we get into the actual game itself, let's quickly talk about the backstory of Five Nights at Candy's. Five Nights at Candy's was created by Emil Mako. Emil Mako had created the model of Candy the Cat way before Five Nights at Candy's was even conceived. He had created the game to outbeat the other games using his model of Candy the Cat, and it worked, as Five Nights at Candy's was an instant success, and would later release on July 18, 2015 on Game Jolt. Now we can talk about the original Five Nights at Candy's. I think it's fair we start with Candy the Cat. Candy the Cat is an animatronic like the other animatronics, wanders around the restaurant in search of the night guard. Once he makes it to your office, he will appear outside your right door in the entrance hall and will attempt an attack. Whenever he attempts an attack, he will return to the main stage after about 7 seconds have passed if blocked by the corresponding door. You can see him through the cameras and you can see his eyes outside the door. Cindy is known to only approach the player through the right door and can be detected by her glowing white eyes. Basically, she does the exact same thing as Candy, except the doors are swapped. Chester the chimpanzee. He becomes active on night 2 and he basically does the exact same thing as Cindy, except he's more active. The penguin. He literally does the exact same thing as Candy, except he can't kill you. He can mess with the doors and the windows, but from what I've seen, he isn't that challenging to keep out. Blank. Blank starts at night 3 and he basically works like Foxy from FNaC. If you don't watch him on his camera, he will start to move and eventually he will leave his room. And if the tick-in booth isn't closed, you will die. In later nights, he is quite the challenge, but in night 3, he isn't that hard to defeat. Old Candy. Old Candy starts at night 4. He works exactly like Cindy, except you can't see him on the cameras, similar to Freddy from FNaC. You have to watch the door camera to make sure if he's there because you don't have any white glowing eyes to see if he's there at the door. Rat. He works exactly like Old Candy, except he goes through both doors, so you have to watch both of the doors. He also only appears in night 5. Now let's talk about the actual gameplay itself. The game works extremely similar to FNaC in some ways, like for example the office layout. The phone guy gives brief explanations to new players, so I guess that they're helpful, but they don't have the same vibes as the FNaC ones. For some reason, after every night you get this little cutscene that features the marionette in this little factory, and yeah, I don't get these. In terms of challenge, it's not that difficult, but you do get a lot of battery life in terms of the actual camera system. One thing I find kind of cool about this game is that it uses night vision so that you can see in the dark because it drains less power, but you are indeed using night vision, so it's a bit odd, but it's still kind of cool. There was a remastered version of Five Nights at Candy's released in 2019. The remastered version remastered the aesthetics of the room compared to the original. It has better camera graphics, the battery icon was added onto the computer, making it more obvious the percentage of your power. The graphics of the original characters have been upgraded, making the colors more appealing to the eyes. And did I forget that they actually re-recorded the dialogue for the phone guy?
Your first priority as a security guard here is to keep an eye on the animatronics. Those are really expensive machines, and we do not want them stolen. You keep an eye on them through the cameras.
It works a lot better here, and if I'm being honest, the camera graphics are a lot better here, and overall the gameplay experience has definitely improved for the better. It just feels better, the frame rate is good, the quality is good, the coloration is good. It's quite flawless, to be honest. Anyways, let's get on to the actual thing that we need to talk about here. Why would I cover something that's basically the exact same as before? Well, that's because there's actually a secret here. Notice how the music stops in the extra spot when you're at the rat here? That's because if you stare at him for too long, you'll get jump scared and receive a code in the process. By getting the code, you have to select them in order using custom night. If you enter the code correctly, when you open up night vision on camera 1, you'll be teleported to night 8 via a jump scare. Basically, you have to keep your camera on Candy, and there's also a secret room right here. Basically, just close the door on him before he can jump scare you. If he does jump scare you, it resets the time back to 12, and if you run out of power, you will get jump scared by him and receive a glitchy game over screen. If you do manage to defeat him, you will get a cutscene trailer for Five Nights at Candy's 3, which will probably get released by next year. Wait a minute. I've seen that face before. No. No! Guys, I've been here for 2 days straight. Ever since I saw that thing. That blue thing. I don't know what it is. I'm scared. I'm hiding out. I'm inside of an area over here. I don't know what it is. In one of the rooms in this I don't know what this is. Sewer, I guess. I'm trying to be as careful as possible. So just come back. I don't know what it seems. I'm not even sure if it's human. It could be robotic, animatronic. Attacked. I got attacked. It corrupted the film. The previous film. Hopefully, I will see it again. Listen, guys, please, whatever happens, please like, subscribe. There's a light. There's a light. I see something. Sorry. I have to leave this here. I think I see something in the distance. I'll come back for the camera later. Let's start with the original. I like the concept of Candy's Burgers and Fries, and the game tying into Five Nights at Freddy's with the whole closing of the location in FNaF 2, and the fact we play as Mary Smith. But besides that, Five Nights at Candy's is extremely similar to Five Nights at Freddy's 1, except with more animatronics and a similar game mechanic. I just wish Five Nights at Candy's had more going for it, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Solid game for what it delivers. Now for the remastered version. In terms of quality, it completely overshadows the original in terms of frame rate, audio quality, video quality, and overall gameplay. It just flows a lot better than the original, and the hidden secrets in this game, like for example the YouTuber sound effects, I like this game just a little bit more than the original, so I'll give the remastered a 9 out of 10. However, in 2016, a year later, a sequel to Five Nights at Candy's was announced and currently in the works. We'll talk about that next time.